Hey everyone! Before we get to this episode, subject Alchemy, big thanks to our discusser Lisa, by the way, we want to tell you that All Souls Con 2017 is happening. We mention it in this episode, but it was recorded before we were given the go-ahead to publicize it. So here are a few things for you. All Souls Con will be held in New Orleans, September 23rd, 2017. Listen to our special edition episode for our take on it. If you don't subscribe to our podcast, by the way, you really should, but if you don't subscribe, you can go here, go.demonsdiscuss.com/SE01. That is a capital S as in special, E as in addition, 01. And that'll take you to that episode in the show notes. And for all of your All Souls Con questions, we're going to send you to the source. We don't plan this thing. They're organizers, Karen and Laura over at All Souls Con, that are organizing this for fans. So go to allsoulscon.org. All of the social media, everything you're going to need for the run-up to All Souls Con will be listed there. That is allsoulscon.org. All right, on with the show.
Demons Discuss, Take 10, the one with the experiments. Welcome to Demons Discuss. If you are new to the show, we are an unofficial podcast about the All Souls universe and the topics that orbit it. We are your hosts, Angela, Jean, and Valerie. And as always, I'm Valerie. Hi, Angela and Jean.
Hello.
Hello, Val. Hello, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Today we are going to talk about alchemy, but not just yet. We have some stuff we have to, get through first. This is episode 10. Can you guys believe it?
No, it's flown by.
Not at all. Episode 10. So that means a couple of things. It means that we are no longer going to regularly put episodes up on YouTube. I will probably put, blurbs, what do you call it? Previews? Promos. Yeah. I'll put, promos. You can hear samples of the show, but you will no longer get regular full episodes on YouTube. Occasionally I might throw one up there, but it's not going to be regular. So now's the time to download an app and subscribe to us from that. And I'll go into the apps and how to subscribe later on in the episode. But that's number one. Number two is this is a milestone in podcasting. They say if you don't make it to episode 10, then you're most likely not going to continue. So, yay.
Yay.
Yay, we're still here. We're still here. And apparently we're not going away. Sorry. Okay. So, let's lead into this with some emails. And they're all from discussers, new and old. And I'm going to start with Stephen. So from Stephen, thank you all for the personality profiles. Now, of course, Stephen is referring to our episode on the one with personality where we did the Myers-Briggs personality test on the characters. And he continues, it sounds like Marcus is our only contentious result. So I'm assuming he took the test for Marcus and came out with something different, but he didn't elaborate. He also said, I have to laugh at your podcast notes here. I pictured the cutting room floor as a location to exercise those carnal lusts 3 times, fewer than the marital bed, but more than the hayloft or up against the parlor wall. Now he's being clever here. He's being clever here, but what he's referring to is my little lament about Deb's use of the word fuck and how it got cut out of from the manuscript to the final product. And that is in the show notes of episode 8. And by the way, if you guys are missing out on the show notes, you're missing out on a lot.
Go to the show notes.
Yes, definitely. I put a lot of stuff in there and some stuff maybe.
Propeller Man.
Yeah. That Propeller Man. That's right. Everyone needs to do that.
I will post Propeller Man somewhere on one of our social media platforms so they can get a taste of the show notes. But it's almost like an annotated version of our podcast. I mean, it's you won't feel left out after you read them.
Yeah. So if we say something that seems like an inside joke or you don't get it, we'll usually elaborate in the show notes. We make sure you're in the know when you read the show notes. So don't miss out on those. Those are important. So thank you, Stephen. And I think Angela has an email for us.
I do. It's from Laura. It says, "Hi, Valentine. Sorry I don't have any specific thoughts about alchemy. I guess my brain is 100% focused on ASC 2017 at the moment. I just wanted to send a quick note with kudos for the last podcast." That was the personality one. "It was awesome. Plus, I'm happy to have the same profile as Stephen Proctor. Hugs, Laura."
And Stephen was a campaigner, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like Father Hubbard.
Right. And shout out Laura. Thank you, Laura. And you need to keep your head in ASC 17 because...
And think about this.
What?
She's a campaigner.
Yeah.
What better hands to have the ASC con in?
You have to put some music in there, Val. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, yeah.
The Laura's a campaigner. And I was, you know what? That was a great connection, Jean, or epiphany, actually. But I was just going to say, if you know Laura, the sweet, kind heart, organized person she is, you would agree that she is like Stephen Proctor and Father Hubbard.
Yes. Absolutely. She does match the profile.
And there's not a better person for that job than her.
Right.
Because I would kill people.
Yes. And we definitely need her head in All Souls Con 17 because we need a champion. And like our last one, if you had attended the last one or if you had read about the last one, it was every bit as awesome as she set it out to be. So, Yep. I need her head in that. So thank you, Laura. And Jean, you have an email.
Yes, I have an email from Angela. Not our Angela.
Not our Angela.
One of our discusser Angelas.
Yeah.
A comment in general about alchemy. It fascinates me that many view alchemy as just a science, but few see it as magic. I remember those Halloween nights growing up as a child. My dad was very much into science, and he'd create the bubbling cauldron and all the other crazy things around the house. Had that happened back in Bridget Bishop's time, would he be found guilty of witchcraft? Maybe. Today, though magic is more commonly known or welcomed in the house, we are still using the same basic concepts of alchemy. Diana and Matthew must be lingering around somewhere smiling about that. Angela.
Thank you, Angela. And she's a new discusser of ours. So shout out, Angela. Thanks for the input.
I like that. It's very, very astute observations.
Definitely. Okay. So we made a short outline because those tend to work out better for us. So we made a short outline and I'm going to read what we just outlined. And this is how the show, this is our intention on how the show is supposed to go. So Introduction on Alchemy, according to the Complete Idiot's Guide to Alchemy, which was a book that we used as kind of a primer for us. And alchemy seems like a really big subject, but this kind of broke it down. So that'll be number 1. Number 2, the All Souls trilogy as an alchemical experiment. And then number 3 and final thing, crazy things we learned in our study of alchemy. So that works.
Yep.
We'll do that.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. So that's our plan. So starting with the introduction to alchemy, I am going to pull up my iPad if it wants to work today. Okay. So in the foreword of this book, the introduction to alchemy was really good and basic. So let me read it. The roots of alchemy are buried in the shifting sands of ancient Egypt as the craft developed from writings attributed to divine beings who are said to have come to Egypt over 10,000 years ago. The scribe Thoth, considered the first alchemist and also the father of music, mathematics, astronomy, and agriculture, recorded the wisdom of ancient visitors and sealed his writings into 2 great pillars that became known as the Pillars of Hermes. According to the legend, the pillars were rediscovered thousands of years after the Great Flood and hidden away in an isolated temple in western Egypt. The city of Alexandria was founded to study and translate the sacred texts, and from there, the ancient spiritual technology of alchemy spread throughout the world. So that was the introduction. And if that sounds, I don't know, complicated?
Intimidating?
Yeah. It's not really. As I definitely recommend this book if you're new to the concept of alchemy and you want to know more about it, but you have no idea where to start. I'll put the link in the show notes on where to buy it. It helped me out for sure. You guys have any thoughts on alchemy in your learnings?
In our learnings.
In your learnings.
Well, I can tell you go ahead, Angela.
I'm sorry. My shortcoming is thinking of it in a vacuum. Like it started or it peaked in Elizabethan England, which is totally not true. I mean, as you just read, it started way long ago, and it's not just in, Western Europe or in Eastern Europe. It was Indian, it was Chinese, it's the roots go far and deep.
Everywhere.
Arabic.
Yeah. Everywhere. And, my big take on alchemy was that no matter what you do, anyone's an alchemist. It just depends. Like, for me, when I was reading a lot of the experiments and everything like that, we discussed it, the three of us discussed it, that, alchemy is basically change, the ability to change something. So I understand why people like to get into alchemy, because what a heady experience when you realize you take something so solid, what appears to be solid, and all of a sudden you change it into something different.
Right.
It talks to your inner God complex, like for me, what I do, as you all know, I design websites. So when I do a website, all I'm doing is writing a bunch of code on a document to tell your browser how to display it. So what I do is I upload this document onto a server. You pull up our website, and then you look at our website exactly how I want you to see it. And that it's a heady experience. It's like, wow, I did that. I changed that. I made this blank thing into something, It's anything. If you're a cook,
it is.
If you're a cook, you take raw ingredients and you mix them up into something delightful. You did that. You just did alchemy, like Angela. You and
baking.
Coffee.
Yes. I take these beans and I do this alchemy to it, and I come out with a cup of delicious goodness.
Yeah. You change these beans into something delicious. It's something that'll keep you awake and less crabby. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for me though, alchemy seems to underscore that there are no finite beginnings or endings, because you're constantly changing something, and whatever that product is, that still is changing. It's aging, or it's decomposing, or it's rejuvenating. It makes me see the universe in one constant motion.
Right.
And every ending, there is a new beginning.
Exactly.
There was something that I noted. So in the divine sphere of all things, the alchemist hopes to reveal the essence of a substance or situation and guide its growth to a natural state of perfection. And then it made me think of the Aurora Consurgence, where she says, where my substance was hidden. So
yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I thought if you stop thinking about it as this abstract thing that's away from you, and you start thinking about, hey, this is a substance, but there's more to it. But how do I crack it open to make it something different? Like every chain has a chink in it. You just have to figure out where the chink is and manipulate that. And then you can start changing it, if that makes sense.
I like that. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. No, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like a human desire to change something into something different or more perfect.
Yeah. So the bottom line with alchemy, it's the art of transmutation. And that's, as we said, it's any kind of change is alchemy. So whether it's metal, a base metal into gold, whether it's medical alchemy, you're trying to transform a sick person into a healthy one, spiritual alchemy, any kind of change is alchemy, right?
Yeah.
Even alchemy changed.
Yeah.
Because a certain aspect of alchemy turned into what we call chemistry.
This is true. Yeah. Jinx.
So there you go. I mean, it's all around us. We just never realize it.
Right. Yeah, I think
it's not just something John Dee and those crazy Elizabethans were up to when they were talking to angels and blowing up the powder. What was it? The powder tower?
Yeah.
Yes.
Where Kelly was doing his thing.
Yes, exactly.
I imagine that people that practice what their version of alchemy was, they probably felt like elite and special that they were doing all these things, and people who didn't understand the concept of alchemy probably thought, oh, they're doing evil things. And you know what I mean? They made it seem so mystical. And really what I think they should have done was break it down. Look, you're practicing alchemy. You just cook that soup or that stew or whatever. But
well, here's an interesting thing I came across. Remember when she went to the pharmacy with George Chapman and bought all the little pamphlets?
Yeah.
There was an alchemy pamphlet that circulated in that time frame that was practical alchemy for the good wife.
Oh.
And basically it was like one of those household hint pamphlets on alchemy to take stains out, or scouring pots and strange things, but it was sold as alchemy because you were transforming substances, and you were transforming the condition of substances would probably be a better way. The interesting thing is there's a couple of copies that have survived in some of the rare book collections, and one had been digitized. So it's floating around online right now. So
interesting.
The Housewife's Guide to Alchemy.
Huh. I wonder if I can find that.
Yeah.
I'll put it in the show notes if I can, though. It's funny that you bring up, like, taking stains out. There's something so calming to me to take a stain out. Like, as you know, when we moved in this house, there was nothing but white carpets. And I have 2 cats and a dog, and that's not going to last. So for me to be able to get some hot water, quick, soak it up, clean it up, go in there and just get that stain out. That's another heady experience. It's like, there was a stain there, but now there's not. I am all powerful. That's what alchemy is, basically.
It's true. And especially back then, since they could only really have the knowledge on what they observed, they were actually trying to, I guess, prove what they were seeing. And like, for instance, the stain, that seems like magic. It is magic.
Yes.
Yes. Because you feel so powerful. It's like, look what I did. I got rid of it.
Well, and further, maybe I would do the same thing to my carpet and I might stink at it. So,
Yeah. That's one of my...
For you, we have woolite.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. And Stanley...
No alchemy for you.
And Stanley's steamer, they'll come in and take it out for you.
Or my husband. He's my secret magic.
Oh, is he talented in the stain removal?
He is. He's got his little green machine and can go to town.
Oh, see?
Oh my goodness.
He's got the equipment for it, too.
Sometimes my last attempt at stain removal ran amok, to be honest with you. I was trying to get a small blood spot out of a bedspread.
Cold water.
Now there's a bleach mark from the hydrogen peroxide.
Oh, no. Cold water. Always cold water with blood. Any protein stain, cold water. See?
Good to know.
There you go. Write that down.
Yeah.
Yes. And in addition to being the tech demon, Val is going to be the stain alchemist.
The vampires out there, take note. Cold water.
Cold water takes the stain out. Cold water, like if you put cold water and then take a little bit of soap or like a degreaser like Blue Dawn, like a little drop in there and work it in there and let it sit for maybe an hour or 2 and then put it in the wash machine. Put it in your wash machine and wash it in cold water. That stain no more. You're welcome.
Too. Yeah. Dial soap works too. My mom uses Dial soap like the guy from My Big Fat Greek Wedding uses Windex.
Oh, yeah.
The gold bar?
Yes, the gold bar.
Gold bar?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
You just scrub it into your stain and I swear it does come out. So
tell me more about this dial.
Old school laundry soap.
This dial, I seek it. Tell me more.
It's
which one?
Soap, the gold bar soap.
Okay.
Just the plain one you get at Walgreens.
And it's going to be on the shelf.
Been around since the...
Yeah. Use it to shower, but now you use it for stains.
I must obtain such gold bar.
It's right next to the Irish Spring.
Okay.
Instead of turning lead into gold, we're turning gold bars into stain removal.
That's right.
Exactly.
Anyway, the stain removal.
Yes.
Yeah. That is a form of alchemy. That's perfect. I don't even know why I didn't think of that before. But thank you, Jean, for bringing that up because this is why people get into it.
Yes. So what story might we know that seemed to have a lot of alchemy and have an alchemical change itself?
I don't know. Let me think.
I don't even know. See, we'll get in trouble if I use that song. So we'll just...
Anyone? Anyone? Bueller?
I think we're going into our next subject here, the All Souls trilogy as an alchemical experiment. Ta-da! That sound effect I can use.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so how are we going to look at this? Are we going to put Matthew and Diana in a freaking Olympic and pour a bunch of water and watch it change?
Yes, let's.
Could be an interesting scene. No,
we might do better if we pour the wine on it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, do better if you pour the wine on me. Yeah, baby.
Because God knows sometimes with Matthew's behavior, the only thing that's going to get you through is a glass of wine.
Can I tell you, we have alcohol to thank from alchemy, because distillation is rooted in alchemy, and without distillation, we wouldn't have alcohol.
Or peace of mind.
So, this is true. So for our audience, what do you mean by distillation?
Like taking a substance and distilling it down into a finer, more pure form.
So what they used.
Yes, because you distill whatever rice, wheat, rye, whatever you distill down, and alcoholic substances can come from that after fermentation. And there's a whole big process, but that's one of the first steps.
So in the All Souls trilogy, our argument is, and it's not really an argument, it's a fact. So let's just leave it at that. When we read A Discovery of Witches, we were actually viewing an alchemical experiment. You take one element, Diana, you take the next element, Matthew, and you put them together and all kinds of reactions happened. True?
True. To both substances, no less.
Yes.
External forces acted upon them both, and they acted upon each other.
Yes.
And they slowly changed. Well, it wasn't slow. It was 40 days, wasn't it?
Which is
just like a real alchemy.
Significant. Exactly.
Right. So, 40 days is the supposed, well, not supposed, 40 days is the recorded time for an alchemical experiment, like, the Philosopher's Stone. It is, you observe it for 40 days. And at the end of the 40th day, you should have a Philosopher's Stone. I don't know that anyone actually made one, but everyone was trying to look to make the Philosopher's Stone. How do I even explain the Philosopher's Stone?
The Philosopher's Stone basic premise was that immortality, wasn't it?
Yeah, healthy, wealthy, and wise. Yeah, it was supposed to make you healthy, wealthy, and wise. The final product was. So that's why you'll read it in a lot of books, fictional books about magic. Harry Potter, it was a big thing with the Sorcerer's Stone or Philosopher's Stone, depending if you're in the UK, they named it differently. The Philosopher's Stone was brought up in A Discovery of Witches, Book of Life, and A Shadow of Night as well. But we're just using the Philosopher's Stone as an abstract here. The actual alchemical experiment is mixing Diana and Matthew. And Deb really set us up for that, because when Diana opens the book and she sees the 3 pages missing, and she notices there are steps missing, there's anomalies, there's all kinds of things, and this book is talking to her, but she has no clue why. And in the end, we figure out because it's talking to her, because it is talking about her and the changes she's going to go through.
Even if you back up, not even just the end of the Book of Life, but the end of A Discovery of Witches, when Miriam is talking about the steps, and they're like, well, what's next? There was conception, and then so there's steps in an alchemical experiment that Matthew and Diana seem to be following.
Yes, they seem so stunned by it.
Yeah, like no one thought of it.
Right, this is true. And at the very end, when the thing that Matthew was wearing around his neck with the blood.
The ampulla.
The ampulla fell into the fireplace, and something happened to it. I think it heated up.
The arborvitae. I think arborvitae.
Right.
Grew up through, what was the blasted tree?
Right.
That grew up through the fireplace.
Yes.
Right. And that started the tree.
Just like the Arbor Diana.
Right. And, so if you think of Diana and Matthew as a tree, when you melded the two of them together, they grew and they changed and they gained branches. Like Jean and I were talking about this yesterday. They gained branches, like with, Jack and Father Hubbard, because they found out that was part of their family. Some branches died off, like Emily and Philippe, but the tree was in a constant state of change. And Benjamin, well, that one was a rotten branch anyway. It needed to be pruned.
Well, yeah, you've got You call the tree guy when you've got a rotten branch, or it's going to fall on the house and wreck your roof.
Right, exactly.
And that's the interesting thing, too. With the tree, if you think about it, some form of that alchemical tree showed up in each of the 3 books. I mean, we got a true alchemical tree when Mary Sidney did her experiment.
Yes.
And Son.
Right.
At the very end of, well, actually, I think the tree is significant in when she drew the life from it to save Matthew and discovery of witches.
That's true.
And then when they arrive back at the beginning of the Book of Life, that is when they discover that the broken ampulla and the heat transformed into the blasted tree.
Right. And
excellent.
So,
and also tree references were brought up, even though you weren't paying attention. Like when Mart was singing that song, you are the tree where delights fruit ripen. That one.
Yeah. I am the branch and you are the tree where
delights fruit ripen. Yeah. There were hints all over the place, but you don't really put it together until the very end, which was really cool. And I think at the end of Book of Life, like the last paragraph where Diana says, "We were the 10th knot. We were unbreakable. We were the alchemical experiment." Basically, what it said. So yeah. Yeah, that basically what Deb did. She set up an experiment for us to observe.
When you break it down like that, it seems so simple.
Right, exactly.
But at the time, it wasn't.
No.
At the time, it wasn't at all.
Right.
I mean, if you think about it, that copy of Aurora Consurgis she was playing with just turned out to be a step-by-step outline of the stories, in a manner of speaking.
Right. And then if you happen to be listening to this episode, make sure you go back and listen to episode 9. It's a little short episode, but our episode on the Aurora Consurgence, which is very nice that we did it right prior to this. We didn't even plan it that way, I don't think. Did we?
No, we did not.
See, it was meant to be.
I'm trying to think what other instances of alchemy in the book. I mean, of course, we've got alchemists running around as characters, for sure, in Shadow of Night. And then you've got, I mean, what Sarah was doing in her still room's a form of alchemy as well.
Sure.
And that's why she admonished, that's why she kind of admonished Diana, saying, you know, if you're trying to pass as a human, alchemy is a strange subject to get into.
Right.
Yes.
Because Diana was specifically at that point in her life just looking at as a beginning to science, and she wasn't taking it all in as the different types it is. Let me go into, there are 6 branches of alchemy. There's spiritual, psychological, artistic, social, practical, and therapeutic. So, like an example of social alchemy, you know, everybody knows those meddlers, people who meddle with people, or matchmakers, or, you know,
you know,
people that meddle in people's lives. Maybe like Isabeau, how she makes little suggestions to change the situation or change people's mind. It's that, or a social, like anytime you do a social experiment, there are famous ones that we can look online about. I think I remember seeing one with a guy in a window watching a whole bunch of people get shocked based on what he was doing behind the window. And they kept telling him, no, shock them again. It's fine. This is part of the experiment. And he's like, no, I don't want to hurt them. He's like, no, shock them. You have the power. Shock them. So once they got it in his head that he has the power and he needs to shock them to better society or whatever, it was amazing how much his psyche changed, where he's like, oh yes, I'm the one that controls you guys. And after a while, he became kind of a monster. But yeah, that's social alchemy. You can plant little ideas in people and make them change the way they think or fundamentally are. Artistic, I think we discussed that a little bit. You know, you add elements to something and you can change it into something totally different. Therapeutic, though, that kind of confused me.
No, I mean, therapeutic to me, like I said before, in medicine, when you're trying to work out, let's say you're strength training, you're trying to transform your muscles, or you're trying to transform, think of physical therapy even. You know, you go and you try to mold something into a bad back into a good back, or, you know, but you're doing something to attain that.
Okay. I didn't think in those terms. So like when you work out and you're trying to improve the strength of your core, which I really need to do, but maybe
a body transformation.
Yeah. Maybe tomorrow I'll start that, but not today. That was cool. Anything else that you can think of as far as the trilogy is concerned before we move on to the cool things we learned in our short little study of alchemy?
It just recaps what we've said, that there is a lot of outright alchemy where Diana views the manuscript in the beginning, and there's an actual illustration of a lot of symbols of an experiment. And then in Shadow of Night, as Jean said, there's a lot of alchemists running around. There's Mary Sidney and Diana actually doing experiments. And then just the symbolism and the character transformations. To me, now that you go back and look, it's just fraught with alchemy, transformation.
And change.
Yes.
And the only constant is change. All right. So let's go into our last subject. Crazy things we learned in our study of alchemy. Jean, I'll start with you. What are some crazy things you've learned?
That Carl Jung is connected with alchemy. the famous father, co-father of psychoanalysis. He was a student of Freud. And one of the things they looked at was the Aurora Consurgis. And talked about how the different types of this all plays into the Myers-Briggs analysis we did in episode 8.
Right.
The alchemy of personality.
Right.
And how when you combine those 4 basic categories of traits and the 2 extremes, how you get so many different things. Now, I will caution everybody, don't try and read that Jungian version of Aurora Consurgis, because it'll just confuse the crap out of you. And that's another thing I read. Stick with Alchemy for Dummies, because a lot of the texts out there are really difficult to understand, and they will confuse you more than they'll help you.
Right. And I would say start with Alchemy for Dummies. And if you want to explore further, it's a good starting point. So, don't skip Alchemy for Dummies if you're brand new and you have no idea, unless you're some certified genius and you can just pick up a book and understand all it's talking about. I mean, even Diana needed several degrees to be as adept as she was.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And Alchemy for Dummies, you don't have to read it straight through. You can do little chunks at a time that what interests you. Otherwise, if you read it straight through, you might, get overloaded.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, Angela, crazy things you learn during your brief study of alchemy.
There's so many things, and a lot of it was surprising, especially the origins of a lot of things. Like I said, the distillation, the double boiler actually came from alchemy. There was a woman, a famous alchemist, Miriam the Jewess, who created the equipment for the double boiler, which was a long time ago. But probably my favorite thing that I learned or found out was our Q&A with the Getty. When it was our question, and we asked about Mary Sidney and about her having her own lab assistant, but what's known about what she practiced or achieved. And they answered that they have some of her recipes, and that she developed a recipe for invisible ink. And of course, that got my brain rolling and thinking about Philip Sidney and Matthew as a spy during Elizabethan times.
Wow.
And who was she developing that for? Or why?
I think we can figure that out pretty quickly.
Right.
Wow.
Well, and then you think about this, Miriam the Jewess.
Exactly. That's what piqued my interest too. Yeah, Miriam the Jewess. And it's called a bain marie, which is French for Mary's bath, but it originates from Miriam or Mary the Jewess. So, dun, dun, dun. When you're melting chocolate or doing some sort of, alchemy with
custard. Custard is dessert alchemy for sure. You take the milk and
you can think of Miriam.
Wow, that just made a connection. Look at that. That's cool.
Yeah.
What the cool things I learned is that there are schools in the U.S. for alchemy.
Wow. Where do you sign up?
Okay, so if you're interested, the Institute for Hermetic Studies, IHS, in Pennsylvania, they hold seminars on alchemy, plant alchemy. Let me see if I can pronounce this right. The Rosicrucian Order in San Jose, California. They hold summer classes for plant alchemy as well. And the largest is the Flamel College of California, after, of course, Nicholas Flamel.
Yes.
They offer certifications in practical and spiritual alchemy. So there you go, folks. If you're interested, those are your schools. Call them up. Wow. There you go. You'll learn a lot more. You'll probably learn a lot more than we did in the book for dummies. Yeah. There you go. And that is our episode on alchemy. Ta-da! I'm definitely playing the music. So that leads us into news. Angela, what you got for us?
Yes. Well, we got a huge update the other day from Deb. It was varied is what I mean to say. She talks about several things. There's a newsletter that we can sign up for. It's called The Blast. She will email you only once a month with fun polls, information, and she said carefully curated social media posts. So you can go to her website, deborahharkness.com, sign up for her newsletter to stay in the know. She also told us about her writing. She's writing. Unfortunately, she said Matthew left the building. So we'll wait for him to come back, but she is writing because Marcus has been very outspoken since July, which is, I don't know, it's kind of fascinating. But I'm curious of what he's talking about. Maybe I'm guessing Phoebe, but
cool.
The World of All Souls trilogy companion will be, coming out this year. Hopefully it has to go to the publisher yet by mid-January and hopefully a publication date of this fall. Yeah. Can't wait for that. A Discovery Witches TV. That is still Fast and Furious. Unfortunately, not many more, or I think no more, announcements will come from Deb. We have to find out from maybe Bad Wolf or the distributors or the broadcast company for any further developments. And she says she does know things, but unfortunately she can't tell us. So we'll be waiting for that. But the TV show is planned for 8 episodes, and they're hoping, if viewers like it and want more, we're hoping for 5 seasons total. Yeah, that would be really cool.
Yeah.
Really, really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And then one last one. She has Pinterest inspiration boards. She's going to post one a month with various things that inspire her. There may or may not be things related to the All Souls trilogy in it, but you can see things that inspire her.
I think we have that posted on our website. Yeah. We'll put it in the show notes too.
And I'll just recap and go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say one more thing about her big recap post that you put up on her Facebook page was there was an awful lot of traffic in her comment section. And well, of course.
Well, let me stop right here. Fangirl down.
Yeah, it's 4 days. I of course had to inquire for Team Baldwin, and I was surprised that he wasn't the one that was pushing himself forward and being mouthy. And Deb let us know 2 things. One, that Baldwin's playing his cards close to the vest.
Wow.
And more importantly, she is sure that we will like the TV show. All I'm saying. The actual quote is, but you'll like the TV show. All I'm saying. Big, smiley.
And at this point, when you shared that with me, and I happened to be in bed, and then I had Roscoe on my lap, and I was like, oh my God! Poor Roscoe looked up at me like, okay, lady. Oh my God. So yeah, basically, she's given you a hint, but it can mean so many things. And yes. I don't know if she's made it better or worse. Yes. They're all good things. I don't know if she's made it better or worse, because I'm like, what would we like about this TV show? Did she listen to our episode?
Right.
Well, here's another hint she gave in those comments as well, is that in the creating of the scripts, yes, granted they're finding they have to drop some scenes, like the yoga scene is the example she continues to use, but they're putting in scenes of things that took part off stage in the book that will be entirely new material for all the people who love the book.
So maybe we'll get to hear that Domenico Marco or not Domenico Matthew. Yeah, Domenico Matthew conversation that Diana didn't get to hear. So that would be interesting.
Or things that we may not even know existed anywhere but Deb's head. Or better yet, Ashley Farrow. Maybe he's getting some good input in.
Well, she had made a comment too that it's not going to be from Diana's point of view. It's going to be
multiple points of view.
I don't know. Multiple, right. So, it's going to be interesting. And that makes me think about Baldwin too, that you said you're going to like the TV show. So I'm wondering how he is going to be presented.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
So very interesting.
Yeah.
I'm very happy about all of this.
Jean's not sad. That's right. Val's not sad. Angela's not sad. Now we're just on the edge of our seats and a little more twitchy. But Other than that, we're okay. And, yeah, I think that's it. We did our fangirl down and you just read that. And, Jean, you said you had a tweet you wanted to share.
Yeah. It was a fun little tweet from ASDG.
Who's that? Wait. Who's ASDG?
For people. I think it's the new name for the All Souls trilogy.
They changed? When did they change?
I don't keep track. I don't keep track of all the
okay.
Twitter handles.
Okay, I'll just put a link in the show note to the tweet.
They became more expansive and want to do more than just the books now, from what I understand.
So what was the tweet?
The tweet was they posed a question. Which AST? A question for you guys, for us, for everyone to respond to.
For everyone. Okay.
Which AST scene would you want to be written into and why? Would you want to be an active participant or observe? Now, one thing I will say about this question, I think we all get to observe every scene as a reader because there's sort of that omniscient third person viewpoint you have when you open a book. So I guess I would ask you guys is what scene would you like to be written into and actively participate in? Val?
I would want to be part of one of the last scenes of the Book of Life. I would like to be written in the place of Linda, who befriended Mart, and they were swapping novels, and they became really good friends towards the end. Well, that was the indication we got from the book. I would like to be Mart's BFF because I do believe she gossips a little. And I do believe she could tell me a lot of things about the de Claremonts that maybe I wouldn't normally hear. I'd be interested in that. I'd be interested in her point of view and how
the upstairs, downstairs aspect of it.
Yeah. Yes.
Very Downton Abbey. Vampires.
Yeah.
I'd want to know everything.
Yeah. I'd want to know the whole down and dirty, what's going on, all the gossip, because, okay, I'm human. That's basically it. I want to hear. I want to know.
You can find out so many of those unanswered questions we all have from the trilogy so far. Smart, very, very strategic choice, Miss Val.
This is true. And yeah, and sure, I'll help her babysit the twins too, but I really want the gossip. And that's where and that's where I'd have myself written in. So yeah, good question. Thank you.
What about you, Angela? Where would you want to write yourself in?
It depends on the day. Today, I'm feeling a little surly, a little mischievous, and I chose the widow beaten scene in Shadow of Night because I could get to hang out with the School of Night. I'd probably want to be written in with some popcorn and maybe a Mai Tai to sit next to Kit and watch the show go down. But I don't know. I just think it's cool to see the whole gang there and the display of magic. And I wouldn't take any pleasure in Diana melting down, but I just think it's a really neat scene that I would love to have been a fly on the wall, and this case written into the scene.
Well, if you want to be a kid sidekick, what about the scene where they go to meet Father Hubbard and he's already there in the catacombs? That might be kind of fun too.
Oh,
I think
yes, that would be fun.
Being part of Father Hubbard's flock would be also cool, I would think.
Yeah,
you would see all kinds of things.
Yeah, or the Garlickite coven.
That would be cool too. Yeah.
Yeah.
That meeting.
Yeah. I had two choices and I can't make up my mind between which one it was. One, I would love to be written in as one of the 20-some witches that Diana met with in order for the coven to determine her training. Probably a fire witch. I think. One of the fire witches she met with.
Oh, yeah. When they had to just meet her like one at a time.
Yeah. Yeah, when they were trying to figure out what to do with her. I thought that was really kind of cool. And the other, I'm torn between that and being part of Varen's Girl Squad in the Book of Life, where they had a bunch of the witches and the female witches and vampires got to be Knights of Lazarus. And they went on the reconnaissance missions when they were looking to rescue Matthew. I think I want to be...
Right.
I want to be Varen's Baldwin.
When you say Girl Squad, though, all I think of is Taylor Swift in that damn video where she's got all those girls. Yeah, Bad Blood.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's an earworm too. That song.
Just shake it off.
I don't want to like it, but it's one of those songs I like. Oh my God. Yeah, but that's what I think. You pictured you all, zipped up in black and your high heels walking around all badass,
Yeah, that'd be us.
Is that not how Varen is described?
Yeah,
pretty much.
And multiple knives. Don't forget the multiple knives.
That's right. Strapped to your thigh, strapped to your ankle,
Yeah.
Got one in your boob.
In her sleeves.
Not in your boob.
In her sleeves like Callum Lynch does in Assassin's Creed.
Right.
Yes.
Well, not one in your boob. I would think you would have a compartment in your
Hiding in
brassiere
your
for
bra.
a knife.
Yes.
Right.
The knife compartment in your brassiere.
Right. Okay, so I'll definitely put a link to that tweet out there so you guys can respond to how you want. I mean, yeah, that's a fun question. I like that.
And
any last thoughts?
Well, I was going to say my last I'm still on the boob knife. I don't know. I keep thinking of the scene from The Producers where the chorus girls have the big pretzels spinning on their boobs like castles.
Right.
Oh my God.
Mel Brooks, okay? I'm sorry.
I know. I love him though.
Oh God, that's funny.
And there you go. My last thought is, if y'all have any kind of fun questions like that you want to ask us, become a discusser. It doesn't have to necessarily be a serious question. We like the fun ones too. The whimsical
you don't have to wait for us to ask questions. You can ask us and then we'll spread the love and we'll ask other discussers and it could be an episode.
Right. And you don't even, if you don't want to receive our regular emails, you don't even have to become a discusser. You can just email us directly at demonsdiscuss@gmail.com. And that's how you can just talk to us without becoming a discusser. You won't get our emails. But why would you not become a discusser? Seriously.
Are you a Gemini today? Or a Libra?
No. But I am the grounded Virgo that sees that it doesn't make sense that why you wouldn't become a discusser. Of course you'd become a discusser. And how you do that is you go to demonsdiscuss.com, scroll down, fill out the short form, put out your name and email address, click submit, type in the code because, we don't like spam on our website, and submit. And that's it. That's all you have to do to become a discusser. And then you'll get our emails once, maybe twice a month. And then we'll ask you guys questions, give you guys important news, ask you to maybe rate and review us on iTunes. Maybe. I did last time.
Awesome.
I did ask that. Yeah, that'd be awesome. We'd love it. Even if you don't have all positive things to say, just keep it kind, please. We all could use improvement through constructive criticism. But if you're mean, no, forget you. But if you're kind about it, we'd appreciate it. Thank you. And that wraps it up, I think.
Yes.
I think so. Until next time.
This was an easiest episode.
I know. Yes, and Demon Kiss to everyone for listening to us. Mwah.
Well, I have to do a closer. Save your kiss, baby.
I'll save the kiss.
All right.
Keep my kisses to myself. Is that what you're saying?
just for now. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to tell you, audience, contact us. You can contact us in the form in the show notes. Follow us at Demons Domain and at Demons Discuss on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And Angela, she is really good about it. She will answer your questions. She will talk to you. And if you've talked to Angela on our social media, you know what I mean. Our podcast home is demonsdiscuss.com. And like I said before, you can become a discusser on that page. Where are we at? Oh yeah. Mail us directly, demonsdiscuss@gmail.com. Visit us at our home base at www.demonsdomain.com. And of course, we have a phone number. If you don't feel like typing, you can just leave us a voicemail and reach us at 1-360-519-7836. And that is a U.S. number, and your local rates apply. And that is all. Now your demon kiss, Deep Jean.
Mwah. See you guys next time.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Feed your demons.
Bye, audience.
Bye-bye.